when I was young, and now I get to see it with my kids as well, but when I was young, I remember these things called shrinky dinks. You remember shrinky dinks? Like they were these little plastic things, and you would cut them out, and then you would color them, and then you would like throw them in the oven, and you would like cook them, and then when you cook them, they would like shrink down into this tiny little weird thing that you could hang onto a necklace or a bracelet or whatever. And though like this was fascinating to me as a child, like I found it really enjoyable. But even as a kid, I just remember thinking I liked the Shrinky Dink actually better when it was bigger. You know what I mean? Like when once it got like all kind of small and it was kind of frumpled up and it had been cooked, like it was cool watching that process. But I actually liked it better when it was bigger, when I could see the colors, when I had just filled it like all out when I was coloring in the lines. I liked it better before I cooked it. And I can remember thinking as a kid, like, I simply never understood why someone would want things to be smaller, right? Like, for example, we have these big stadiums, and people are always aspiring for like big houses, and we want to throw these big parties, big get togethers, big travel excursions. Like, everything's big, right? Like, I'm in Texas right now. Bigger is better, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. And though it's not always true that that's the case, bigger isn't necessarily always better. Many people actually refrain from going big. They refrain from thinking big. They refrain from taking big challenges or for trying to take big leaps. Many people refrain from that, and instead they play defense. Instead, they shrink, kind of like the shrinky dink. They shrink their dreams. They shrink their hopes. They shrink their desires. They shrink down in order to align with those around them. Something I want you to take a look at today. I do this all the time. Anytime I'm walking through a mall, anytime I go to a church, anytime I'm in a different city or anything like that, I always take a look at at how fascinating it is, how much people dress alike. Like it is so fascinating. You can always tell who's in a group. You can always tell whose kid is who kid. You can always tell those things if you really look. Like people just naturally want to like fit in, to blend in, right? Like you've seen them, you got the different now we got this thing, I guess we're back to mom jeans, right? Mom jeans are back in. They're pulling those things all the way up about waist high or so on and so forth. And sure, you got two different color shirts, but they're dressed the same. And then of course you've got, whenever we do the family photos, everybody's got to like match. We got to offset the colors, right? And so it doesn't matter how crazy the pattern is or how crazy we might look, we've got to blend. But even if it's not like a family photo, you'll just notice that certain styles trend down, right? Like if the parents like to wear certain types of dresses, certain types of flowy, if the dads wear button-up shirts, so on and so forth, you'll see that down in the kids. And of course, you see it out in like social culture, right? Anytime you go fraternity, sorority, any of that stuff, like these guys don't even realize it, but look at it. Look how many of them have like the flowered print uh, swim trunks, right? Or surf pants, whatever you want to call those. But look how many of the people in the picture, they all have flower print. Like they all dress the same. And it's just something that we do as human beings. We tend to blend. And even if that means shrinking down our dreams. You remember when we were kids, right? Like when we were kids, I remember dreaming big, wanting big, having huge desires. When I was a kid, I remember always wanting to play offense, right? Like when it came to basketball, I wanted to be the guy with the ball. I wanted to score the points. Like I would play defense because we had to play defense, but I wanted the ball. And when it came to any of that stuff, when it came to any sports, so on and so forth, it's like I want to play the game. I didn't necessarily want to practice the game. I didn't necessarily want to be on the defensive end. I wanted to play offense when I was a kid. But yet for some reason as adults that starts to shift. We get to this place where we start to play defense all the time. We're protecting our assets. We're protecting our dollars. We're protecting our families. We're protecting our businesses. We go into this place of defense. We remove offense. We're so afraid of the risk or so afraid of what could happen that we don't ever seek those rewards, those big, awesome, epic, massive rewards that can come when we live life on offense, not on defense. You see, studies have shown, oh, I didn't put that slide in there, that's okay. Studies have shown that people right now drink on average, right now, listen to this, on average, people drink 3.9 cups of coffee a day. 3.9 cups of coffee a day. There's also, on average, people are drinking 1.4 energy drinks a day. And yet, with all the energy drinks and with all the coffee, if you ask somebody how are they doing, what are they going to tell you? Busy or tired, right? Busy or tired. We've become a culture where being tired is just kind of the standard. Hey, we're tired. Let's make sure we got to swing through the Starbucks. We'll spend our $5 over there. Make sure to get our coffee. Then when we get into the work, first thing that we'll do is we'll make sure that we get another cup of coffee. A little bit later, we get another cup of coffee. Let's grab our Bang energy drink, and it's just this accepted thing, this accepted culture of being tired. Fatigue is, for some reason, acceptable at this point. And I firmly believe that the reason so many people are so fatigued and so tired is because they're constantly playing defense. They're not offensively going out and chasing their dreams. And when you play defense all the time, I'm sorry, but when you play defense all the time, it'll wear you out. It will absolutely wear you out when you're being reactive, you're being responsive, you're protecting this, you're worried about this, you're anxious about this, you're worried about this. It will absolutely wear you out. If you notice, some of the most successful people in the world, people are always like, well, how much gas you got in the tank? Like, how do these people go, 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 go? How do they have the energy to do all these things, the energy to travel, to hit the stages, to do this, to run on 2 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep? Where do they get that energy from? And it's because they're playing offense, friend. Offense is fun. Offense is passionate. When you're chasing those big, huge, massive dreams, when you're not allowing yourself to shrink those things down, the energy comes naturally. You see, there's a parable in the Bible. There's this thing called the parable of the talents. And in the parable of the talents, the story, the way that it goes is that there's this landowner, right? There's a landowner. He's going on a journey, and he's got to leave for a little while, and so he brings in three of his servants, and he says to the three servants, he gives them each a certain amount of talents, right? Certain amount of money. It's called talents, but he gives them a certain amount of money. He says, "Take care of this. I'll be back in a little while," and he leaves. And the first guy that he gave 5 talents to goes down to the market, turns his 5 talents into 10. The second guy that he gave 2 talents to goes down to the market, takes his 2 talents, turns it into 4. The third guy that he gave 1 talent to buries the talent because he's afraid that the master's going to get mad if he loses it and does nothing. So when the landowner comes back and he says, "What'd you do with my talents?" The one guy says, "I took your 5 talents and I made it into 10. And he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. I will give you more responsibilities, more land." The second guy says, "I took your 2. I went down to the market. I turned it into 4. He says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. I will give you more. I will give you more to be responsible over. I will give you more gifts and more treasures." The last one says, "I buried it. I was afraid. I knew you were a harsh man. I didn't want to lose your money." And the landowner said, "How dare you? I will take away the 1 talent that I give you, and I will give it to the man with 5, because he obviously knows how to expand on his gifts." The point of the entire parable, and what I'm trying to share with you today, my friend, is to not shrink down these gifts, this uniqueness, this thing that only you have, your dreams and your vision. They were given to you with a purpose. And if you don't go out and live it to the highest, right? If you don't go out and push on offense, starting to seek the best version of yourself and your company and your business and your relationship, if you don't do it that way, it will ultimately be taken away. You'll be tired. You'll be fatigued. So you're going to take the hits When it comes to whether I should make this decision, my risk versus reward, how do I get through this period of time where I'm so tired, I'm so fatigued? These are all hits that are going to come with business. And the answer is I need you to play offense. Play into your gifts. Play into your uniqueness. Play into the things that only you can do, that only you as a child of God, right? Like the God of the universe made you specifically to be the best version of you, not anybody else, not to shrink your dreams down, not so that you can blend in with others, but the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And so the decisions that you make, decisions to play defense or to play offense, to shrink your dreams or to expand them, those decisions, they make an impact. They make an impact on your friends, your family members, your coworkers, of course, and it makes an impact on me. But I have good news for you today. Though maybe in the past, you've been shrinking down your dreams, I got great news for you today. It is never too late for you to go all in right now. See, you have something incredibly special in you. And as you're building and as you're growing and as you're developing, as you expand on this and bring this incredible gift that's inside you, as you bring it to fruition, it's going to make a massive impact on this planet. You see, when you shrink your dreams, you shrink your impact. When you shrink your dreams, you shrink your impact. And I don't know about you, but I firmly believe that little dash in the middle between the born on date and the expired date, that little dash is about the impact we can have in other people's lives. Make sure that impact's huge. I want to see it. Oh, she's not over here. There's a young lady here that helped us get set up this morning, Andrea. I thought I was going to be able to pull her on screen for you, but she was amazing. But she made an impact in my life this morning, man. She helped me get set up. She's just this incredible human. She's got this spark. Here it is, 4:15 in the morning. Some guys down here in their little kitchen area, like doing the thing, right? And just with a big smile and all the energy and effort she could muster, I know she was tired, but she went ahead and played offense. She turned down the music for me. She made sure that I had enough lights. She made sure I had plug-in electricity, that I was comfortable. She did all of those things. And that's what I'm calling you to do. Use your gifts. Go on offense. Use your gifts. Oh, she's gone. Go on offense. Use your gifts and go out there and make a massive impact on this planet.